Hello and welcome to Official Xbox 360 Magazine's OXM report. Now, a few weeks ago we headed all the way up to Liverpool to meet with Bizarre Creations and talk about Blur, which they think is going to be a new twist on the racing genre.
Well, I'm here with Gareth, who's lead designer on Blur for Activision. You guys have been quiet for quite a long time. The last time we saw the game was Cologne. What have you guys been working on since then?
We've really been working on just tidying up the game in general and adding loads more strategy and depth to the game. We were getting ready to release the game in September, and to be honest, we didn't feel it was up to Bizarre Creations' quality. It was okay, it was totally acceptable, but we hadn't really fully realised everything that we wanted to, and we were making some compromises. So we spoke to Activision and said, hey, look, we need a little bit more time, and they were awesome about it. They said, yeah, look, take as long as you want to make the game good. So it meant we could go back to the game and look at the power-ups, look at the mods, look at the track design, look at everything really, and just give it more love, make it more strategic, add more depth to the power-ups, make them work in different ways. So yeah, across the game, it's just been extra polish.
Does it feel kind of risky for you guys to be combining the very sort of stylish, realistic cars with the sort of more like fantastical power-ups and things?
Well, before we kind of got into that, we kind of did a bit of research. We were looking at a lot of the TV ads that were going around at the time. And, there was quite a big move to kind of mix kind of augmented reality and have like light flares and stuff, when people were, presenting cars and on TV and in adverts and stuff like that. So it's not a million miles away from what we're seeing in the media anyway. But yeah, it's a bit of a move for us to do that. One of the reasons we wanted to keep the real cars is because they really attract people. People choose cars they like, and we didn't want to get rid of that. We didn't want to get rid of that pull that people have. And it's the same with the realistic locations. People really like realistic locations, but we did feel like we needed to layer something on, and we wanted it to be high energy. And we could have gone the route of sticking guns on the cars and stuff like that, but we didn't think it was going to have the same visual impact. So it's it's a bold move for the company. And time will tell how people kind of react to that. But we're hoping it's going to be positive, especially when people play the beta. We're hoping that people are going to see the game and see the power-ups, and it'll all come together and make sense for them. It makes sense for us, and we just enjoy the game now rather than thinking about that sort of stuff.
One of the really interesting things you guys have added is this new challenge mode, which I think is probably something that will become extremely popular in games of all genres. Could you tell me how it works?
Yeah, sure. So we were really keen to make the game all about playing with friends and all about competition and bragging about how good you are with a game. So in multiplayer, that's quite easy to do online and stuff like that. But we wanted to add it to single player as well. So in single player, when you complete an event, the game basically stores all the information on what you did in the game, how many cars you wrecked, what position you came in, what your lap time was, and then you can build a challenge from any of the stats that we've recorded in the game and then send them off to your buddies on Xbox Live. And what's really cool about that is they get a message which goes direct to their Xbox 360 dashboard. So they could be playing another game, they could be mucking around in Media Center or viewing videos or something like that. They'll get the message saying, hey, Gareth's challenged you to a race on Blur. So you go into the dashboard, you accept the message, accept the challenge, and the game will boot up for you and present you with the challenge that you're about to play. And what's cool about it is, say I'm further on in the game than you are, then you can play the race that I've just played and look at all the unique content that I've unlocked. And then if you do better than me in that race, you can then send the challenge back with improved stuff. So you get a sort of ping pong effect going on. And the cool thing about that as well is on the 360, that's available to silver accounts. So anyone can use that. And it just allows people who may not be able to play at the same time online to compete with each other.
Obviously, you guys are taking a very different approach to racing games from other people. What do you think people are getting wrong with racing games at the moment?
I don't think there's anything wrong with the racing genre, but I do think that because we've all been focusing on sort of technical excellence and simulation and physics and trying to make a more and more accurate example of driving a car. We've lost quite a lot of people who find that a bit boring, don't find it very interesting, find it quite hard to drive, hard to control. So with Blur, we really wanted to make it very easy to pick up and play, but have this hidden depth and strategy. So at first you play the game and you think, oh yeah, I've got this game. first race, I know what's going on. But then as you play over, the next hour, over the next week, you realise, oh wow, there's so much more I can do with the power-ups, so much more I can do with my cars. So, you're just adding those layers of strategy like an action game.
And if you are like a hardcore car nerd, there's still a hardcore mode for just straight racing, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. So not only we've got the power-up modes, and we've got like a deathmatch, motor mash type arena battle mode, we've got team racing modes, and we've also got hardcore racing, which is power-ups turned off, but damage set super, super high. So in that playlist, the strategy is to get up close to someone and bash them into bridge supports and things like that. So it's a very different game versus the other playlist. And the hardcore race is really like that.
Excellent. Well, Gareth, thank you so much for talking to us.
Cool. Thank you very much.
The multiplayer beta for Blur is now available to all Xbox Live users, so head over to the game marketplace and give it a whirl for yourself.